Commissioners to order. Mr. Moser has a meeting been properly advertised.
Yes, sir.
I think I saw Mr. Donahue come in. Would you be so kind as lead us in our prayer and our pledge? Please stand for the prayer and the pledge of allegiance.
Let us pray. Gracious and kind Father, we thank you for this beautiful day and your bountiful blessings. We thank you for this beautiful weather. Father God, we pray that you would be with this august body as they deliberate the business of the community, give them the wisdom and understanding. These and all of the blessings we ask in Christ's name. And everybody said, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Bell will not be here. Moving right on to departmental reports. Clerk of Court's annual presentation. Am I missing Ms. Dixon?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Ms.
somebody from her
Danae
office
is
here?
in her,
Okay.
standing in her
All right.
stead tonight.
All right, thank you.
How do you use this thing? That one? Okay, good deal. All right. Chairman, Commissioner, County Administrator, and citizens of Liberty County, thank you for the opportunity to speak with you this evening. My name is Danae Young, and I am here on behalf of the Liberty County Clerk of Court's office to talk about how we're sustaining excellence, efficiency, and effectiveness at the Liberty County Clerk of Court's office and the Justice Center, and what we need to do to keep that excellence sustainable. Our office sits at the center of justice and revenue in Liberty County. The Clerk of Superior Court, Ms. Linda Dixon Thompson, also serves as the Clerk of State Court, Juvenile Court, and Magistrate Court. Every filing, fine, fee, and judgment flows through our team. In 2025, our office collected a total of $7,808,606.44, handling cash, checks, ACH, and electronic payments across all functions. Of that total, $4,653,275.94 went directly to Liberty County, with the remainder being distributed to various local and state beneficiaries. Simply put, more than $4.6 million was returned directly to the county while we supported 4 courts, multiple judges, and served thousands of citizens. Our mission is simple but demanding, as we must constantly provide timely, efficient, and courteous service to everyone who needs our assistance. We operate as a team, and even though every deputy clerk has specific assignments, our teamwork is tested daily by heavy caseloads, frequent court sessions, and lean staffing, especially in the intake division, the customer service frontline. It's also important to note that under OCGA, which is our law, 15652, our office is prohibited from practicing law or giving legal advice to citizens who often come in stressful situations. And while we cannot provide any kind of legal counsel, we must still be able to guide them through these complex processes accurately, politely, and efficiently. Our office is divided into 4 divisions. We have intake, which consists of receipting and receiving, real and personal property. This is also to include our jury management. So if you've ever received a jury summons, I'm sure you were so excited about that and you were just ready to serve. The court divisions, which is going to be your superior, state, juvenile, and magistrate courts. And then finally, we have administration, which is what I'm a part of. We currently have 20 full-time and 1 part-time deputy clerk that make up our office staff. So our caseloads. So from 2024 to 2025, our office had almost $1.2 million, or an 18.1% gain in additional revenue. And of that 2025 collection, over $4.65 million went directly to Liberty County, as I previously stated. Our caseloads are telling an even more dramatic story whenever you look at the chart. And I put a booklet on, or I asked for a booklet to be placed on your desk, and if you flip the page, you'll be able to see those charts. a little bit clearer. Overall, the caseload saw a net of 109% increase in 2025 compared to 2024. And the magistrate court cases increased roughly 24.1% in just 1 year's time. Magistrate court currently handles civil claims of $15,000 or less, and new legislation, or House Bill 792, is to raise that limit to $20,000, which will also significantly increase the caseload further in the coming years. Each file and each case means more data entry, more notices, more court appearances upstairs, and more follow-ups on the magistrate court deputy clerks. In a very, very short saying, it is our caseload surge plus our revenue growth equals a staffing crisis. The caseload surge combined with a constant court time has created what I would describe as a caseload overload. Once court personnel return from the courtroom, they must still input and scan all the information from that day's docket, including sentences, probation conditions, fines, and orders, and this has all led to heavy reliance on overtime. Between July 1st, 2025 and February 28, 2026, staff had worked around 356 hours of overtime, generating $18,348.88 just in overtime payments. And that was with 4 months left in the fiscal year. The anticipated overtime payout by the end of this fiscal year is approximately $27,523.32. Supervisors and administrative assistants have logged dozens of overtime hours just to keep up with court schedules and statutory deadlines. Overtime is a symptom of understaffing, and it's not a solution. Overtime signals that our current staffing models has reached its limit and is no longer sustainable, and we're also experiencing turnover, which is related directly to workload and stress. In the past year, 3 full-time staff members have been out on FMLA and maternity leave, also placing additional strain on our office. In less than 2 months, 2 court division employees and 1 part-time intake employee resigned, including 2 who left without any kind of notice. They literally left on one day, sent a text message to their supervisor, and said they were not coming back. This does not include an employee who also passed away. Separation notices and text messages from those specific employees cited mental health-related stress and workload pressures as the reasons for leaving. 1 employee who did give notice moved to another county department with higher pay, less workload, and a lighter court schedule. Every resignation of a trained deputy clerk slows service, increases an error risk, raises court overtime cost, and places additional strain on the remaining staff that is left in our office. This undermines the effectiveness in the office and ultimately the quality of service provided to all, especially our Liberty County citizens. Instead of paying for chronic overtime, we proposed a targeted staffing investment that will pay for themselves and stabilize operations. It's kind of like the saying, work smarter, not harder. The current part-time deputy clerk position in intake is budgeted at 30 hours a week and costs $28,369.65 in salary and benefits. Converting this full-time 40 hours per week requires an additional $13,099.62 annually for salary, FICA, and retirement, or as I will previously call it, the works. The overtime already paid through February is $18,348.88 and is on pace to exceed the full annual cost of this conversion by an additional $14,423.70. So that would be an additional $14,000 plus in the county's pocket. In other words, by converting this part-time position to a full-time position, we can fully fund the change by reducing overtime while providing more stable coverage in one of our highest pressure divisions. This adjustment affects the intake division only and not our court division, and delivers immediate trained capacity where it's needed the most, because we already have an intake person that is part-time that is being trained, and they could just transfer into a full-time position. We're also requesting one new full-time deputy level position, and that would be in our court division. The total annual cost, including the works, is approximately $49,902.22. And if you take that extra $14,000 that we were talking about a while ago left from the overtime payouts, that will lead us with realistically only needing $35,478.52 for this position. This position will focus on intake of the court filings and case proceedings, file preparation and courtroom support, deadline management and data entry, and going to court as needed. And by absorbing part of the caseload surge, this role will help reduce burnout, prevent further turnover, and maintain timely, accurate court operations for citizens, law enforcement, attorneys, and our judges. And when you compare this, let's call it just a $35,500 investment, to the nearly $1.2 million revenue increase that our office has seen in the last year, it's a small fraction of the new revenue that the office has already generated. Protecting that performance level is with a new position investment is both efficient and physically responsible, in my opinion. Without this new position, we can reasonably expect more service delays, higher turnover, and greater risk of court disruptions and compliance issues in the future, and this new position is specifically and solely for the court division. These two staffing adjustments are not about a growing bureaucracy. They're about appropriate growth within our office to match the documented growth in caseload and real estate revenues, not to mention the growth that is expected in the county itself. These adjustments also support our three pillars that our presentation is based on today. So the excellence, which would be maintaining high levels of service and statutory compliance. Efficiency, so using smart staffing instead of chronic overtime to get the work done. And effectiveness in ensuring that the court functions smoothly for Liberty County citizens, law enforcement, attorneys, and judges. By investing in our people, we sustain a level of service that Liberty County already expects and receives from the clerk's office. We protect revenue, reduce risk, and support the mental and physical well-being of the employees who make the system work day in and day out. In closing, I want to emphasize that our office is very proud of what we've accomplished thus far. To reiterate, in 2025, we've collected over $7.8 million, returned more than $4.6 million directly to Liberty County, and supported 4 courts, handled a surge of real estate filings, managed jury duty, and served thousands of citizens with the current staffing levels. Today, I'm asking that you help us keep this excellence sustainable by your possibly thought on converting one of our existing part-time intake positions to full-time, and 2, adding a new full-time deputy clerk position into our court division. These are modest targeted investments with a high return for Liberty's justice system and our finance. This is not about convenience. It's about maintaining integrity, efficiency, and reliability of the court system. And as Michelangelo once said, the greatest danger for most of us is not that we aim too high and that we miss it, but that we aim too low and that we reach it. And I believe that the board has a very high vision and a very high aim for the Liberty County Court and our citizens. And I thank you, and please let me know if you have any questions, concerns, or comments.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to make clear that for those in the audience, but you're giving your presentation on the budget for her budget hearing and requesting those two? Because we reviewed it yesterday for the Clerk of Superior Court.
What we'd ask is for them to give an update in terms of
On their caseload and everything, and so, okay.
And
Because
she worked that into
she worked, yeah.
into the report.
Which is very good, Ms. Young, and let Ms.
Good job.
Dixon know that we missed her, or Thompson. But anyway, you did a great presentation, but we did review, the Finance Committee yesterday reviewed y'all's budget during our budget meeting yesterday, and we did see where y'all had requested these 2 employees, one full-time and then moving just one to that was part-time currently to full-time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and that was in your presentation today. And I believe that was your second request, which I noticed that. So I don't have any problem right now in supporting that as long as the funding is there once, we just had our first meeting yesterday.
Yes, ma'am.
And I appreciate the load, the load case, I don't appreciate it because people are getting in trouble on Liberty County. But at least some of them are paying, I guess, by the revenue.
Yeah,
for
some of them are
taking in.
paying, some of them don't, but you never know.
But you did a great presentation.
I'm kind
Thank
of
you.
curious, Samantha, you may not have this with you, but we can get it later. We got to hear the revenue side, we didn't get to hear the expenses side to see where those two line up. So,
They are operating within their budget. And they do have, some people who have gone out, so that would create vacancies to,
can you speak more to that, the turnover? Can you speak, I mean, I know you said,
So with the turnover, ultimately in our office, it is a lot. And I've only been there personally for about 3 years. So with the turnover, if you work in the court division, you're going to court, and if you look in the books as well, I provided a lot more information than what really was on my PowerPoint because I condensed it down to fit into the 10-minute frame than what I could have spent hours talking about, because I deal directly with not only administration, but I also deal with our accounts payable. So whenever we are working and go into court, we're going to court not only 2 to 3 days a week, but then when there's jury trials, we're going to jury trials for week long. And you can never really judge how many jury trials you're going to have in a month, in 3 months, in 6 months, or in a year. You can't say, oh, well, there's only going to be 476 people that commit crimes this year, or 500 people that want divorce hearings. And you can't say that all of that is not going to affect people personally. And it does. Especially those that do work in the court division and in intake too, because you have a lot of people that are coming up to your window that are extremely upset because everything that's going on is your fault. They come into the office and they believe that it's your problem. Even though they committed the crime, they don't want to do the time, they didn't pay their bills, that's your fault. They're getting evicted, they're mad at you. I'm sorry that you didn't pay your credit card bill and now this company's coming after you. That's not my fault. You are a product of your own situation, and this is something that you have done. So since all of that has happened, that takes a toll on people mentally. And if you can't handle that, or you can't do anything along that, and you can't deal with that in a length of time, then sometimes the job is just not always a good fit. And that's where the turnover comes in. And some people just can't stand that.
are you able, during the interview process, to express to them what to expect so that they don't come in thinking it's going to be easy peasy?
We tell them, and the hard part is you don't want to just make a job seem like completely negative where people don't come.
Never take it.
I mean, if I told you whenever you come in for an interview that, okay, on your very first day, you very well could have someone that is a murderer standing in front of you, allegedly, they've not been convicted yet, but they could be. They might have or might not have done it. That takes a toll on you. I'll never forget my first day working. There was somebody who was apparently had hurting someone, and it was a lot because you can't make faces, you can't cast judgment because that's not your job. And whenever you are going through that in an interview, you don't want to make it seem like it's absolutely the worst job that you've ever had, because there are a lot of good days. And whenever the bad days come, you just have to take it and roll with it. But some people can't just let things go like all of us can. And you have to be able to build up that wall, but some people can't do that. And you try to eliminate that in their interview, but some people just need a job so bad that they're like, oh, I can do it, but then they can't.
I'm thinking, and thank you for sharing. Thank you. Based on what you've said and what your trends are, you may do better by being clear to them, transparent to them, as to what they expect, because by the time you get them in, you spent that time orienting them and getting them in through Laura's office, all that kind of stuff, then you lose them, you haven't really gained. We appreciate, what you guys do, and that's why
sir.
we like these budget presentations. We get to hear what goes on behind the scenes a lot of times, so.
Yes, sir.
So thank you for sharing that with us. Technology, is that helping you? The use of technology, is it helping you with the caseloads?
We do a lot of things with technology. I know one of the biggest things that has been talked about lately is like the conversion and the integration with the sheriff's office, and we have talked about that. We're not opposed to that at all. And it is, what we can see is that a lot of things that go on in court, though, are not always paperless. So you have some courts that aren't paperless at all, and so technology is great if you are paperless. But until you have legislation that passes that says that you can go completely paperless and everything is e-filed, then you still have to keep a paper trail. So like your state criminal and your superior criminal, along with your magistrate court, and still some of your real estate e-filings, those still come in over the counter, or there's still a paper trail with those. They're not completely online solely. So we still have a lot of pushing paper and work to do behind the scenes that, yes, it does make it a lot more convenient because we do handle things that are online, and technology is great, and we are very advanced in our office compared to some offices that you might see that run at the same capacity that we do. But whenever you don't completely have everything that is e-filed, that's where the issue comes in, is that until you have everything that is solely e-filed and solely online based, you still have so much paper and you still have so many things that are constantly coming in that you're just trying to keep up. State court, for example, we have a lot of things that every time they go to state court, they come back, and you can see in the case, the pictures of the cases, whenever they come back from court, it's just cases upon cases that have to get scanned into the computer because they're not a paperless court.
You have, what, 2 vacancies? Don't I recall that, Samantha? You guys got 2 vacancies in your office now?
Yes, sir, according to the,
We currently have filled all of our
Have you? Okay,
vacancies.
okay,
Yes, sir.
okay.
good. That's fine.
Let's pray that it stays.
Yeah, okay, all right, so we'll hope that they'll stay there.
Yes, sir.
All right. Any other questions for?
I don't.
All right, thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thank y'all.
Thank you for the in-service. All right, Public Defender Annual Presentation, FY '27 Budget Requests. Mr. Joshua Brockington.
I need to go behind the clerk from now on. We're complaining about the same stuff. I think whenever they get done talking to them, they just send them up there to our office. We're at the second stop after they've gotten good and whipped into a frenzy. All right. I'm going to start this presentation, and I want to start actually by thanking y'all. As y'all know, last time I was here last year, it was my first, I think I've been on the job about 2 weeks. April 1st is actually my anniversary, so I'd like to thank y'all for the privilege and the pleasure of serving as a circuit public defender for the Atlanta Judicial Circuit. It has been an experience, and I'm hoping that the progress that we've made can continue and we can become the model circuit defender's office for the entire state. That is
Like
our
that
goal.
goal? I like that goal.
What I have here is I wanted to describe basically just what we do, because as you've heard from the clerk, we heard about courts and everything else, but when it comes to public defenders, very few people understand exactly what all we are involved in. We are involved in the criminal process from the day of the arrest until the case is ultimately disposed of, and then even after it has been disposed of. We work on visiting clients at the jail. We legal counsel at every stage of the criminal process, bond hearings, preliminary hearings, and trials. We do litigation, trial prep. We investigate the charges, interview the witnesses, any alibis, go to crime scenes, review evidence like police and laboratory reports. Pretty much everything that law enforcement does, we go behind them and do it ourselves to do an independent investigation, and that's the best way to hold the government accountable and make sure that everything stays above board. Even after the trial is over with, we are also responsible for post-trial support, handling direct appeals, Court of Appeals issues, Georgia Supreme Court for anything that's convicted. So even once we try a case, we still are responsible for the post-trial assistance too. So we really don't get rid of these cases for years on end. Whenever we have a client, he's our client for a long time until we ultimately resolve it. We also do juvenile court and as well as accountability courts, the drug court, the veterans court program. We are involved in all of those things. So the public defenders are very integrated into the criminal justice system, rightfully so. We are the check to the balance. The next slide is to just kind of give the commissioners an idea of what we face on any given case. The entire brevity of the government comes down on the defendant whenever he's charged in a criminal case. That can include federals, state agencies, local agencies, even the prosecutors. When you think about all those different agencies involved, at the FBI, the DEA, the U.S. Marshals, ATF, ICE, we get reports and things from all of them. We get several cases involving state agencies, GBI, Georgia State Patrol, Department of Public Safety, Department of Corrections is very popular over in Tattnall County, as you know. And the reason why I wanted to illustrate this is because basically every one of these agencies that's listed before a public defender have one purpose, and that's to arrest people. We are the only ones that kind of, does he need to be arrested? So I wanted to illustrate that we're the last line of defense for the general public. Any overreach by the government, we are the one that's supposed to catch that. And whenever you have the entire weight of the federal, state, local governments pressing down on you, that job can be quite difficult. We do our best, but you know, it is a quite overwhelming obligation that we face. To try to overcome these difficulties, I've made some changes in our office. One of the things that I did early on was try to encourage interns and volunteers to come to our office to try to get them in. I want locals. I want folks that's going to go to law school and come back to Liberty County and live here and work for me for their career like I have. I've spent 16 years with the Atlanta Judicial Circuit Public Defender's Office, and I don't ever plan on going nowhere until I retire. I love it here. This is my home, but I am the exception to that. Is the one thing that I've found. Since I took this job 12 months ago, I have had 2 attorney positions posted for that entire 12-month period. I have filled 0 of them. And we'll get to a slide in a little bit that will explain some of that as to how we got there. But with the volunteers and interns, we're looking for local schools, any kind of programs, community members, anyone who wants to come in and try to help us out, to see what we do, to get involved. We try to welcome them in. And then if they need help for us to write them a letter of recommendation to get them into college or anything like that, we're also willing to do that and assist them. Even try to give them some counseling if they have ambitions for law school. Like I said, I'm looking for locals who want to come back here and stay here. As far as recruitment, the staff that I have been able to hire, we've hired 2 support staff and administrative assistant for both Bryan and Tattnall County. They have been a godsend. We are adding 1 investigator to our Liberty County office here that will assist the entire circuit, and he's actually been hired and starting on May 1st, so we're really looking forward to having that support staff. We are also running 2 other support staff administrative assistant positions here for the Liberty County office that will be direct assistants to the assistant public defenders. I told you I've been running 2 attorney positions the entire time, and I have, but I've actually got 3. Instead of leaving that attorney position posted for another 12 months, I'm trying to get some boots on the ground to help us where we can. So I am currently in the process of repurposing one of those attorney positions to create 2 support staff, and I will come back and ask y'all for some more lawyer money once I can actually find some lawyers. Right now, I got admin money, and I can find admin, so that's what we're doing. We're doing the best we can with what we got. What we do have is 2 law students that are taking the July bar who have expressed interest in employment. One of those law students is actually one of our interns that worked with us last summer. He went back to law school, graduated law school, taken the bar, and then his intention is to come work with our office. That's that process that I'm describing. We want to catch them early, help them out, and then they want to come back and help us out and be loyal to us. We want that. We want that long-term commitment. I know no one wants to be a public defender for their whole career, but can I at least get 2 to 5 years? As far as technological upgrades, we have transitioned our office to, we are transitioning our office to paperless. My administrative assistant, Ms. Glenn, is here, and she'll tell you that that is a process, and they're doing all they can. But you take 20 years of documents, and I don't care what kind of scanner you buy, it takes you a little bit of time to catch up on that. But they are making headway into that. We are now scanning all documents on new cases, which is reducing storage costs and making access easier generally for our employees and our attorneys. And those are a few of the things that I have control of that I have been able to change. The next slide is our county case statistics for this year, and I would like to illustrate a few things as far as the case numbers. In regard to Liberty County felony cases, that is this 361 and 257. When you look directly below that, you see a misdemeanor case count of 608 cases. Basically, what that tells me as the circuit public defender is that state court has officially almost eclipsed Superior Court in the amount of cases that we see for that. And when we get to the next slide, I'll show you why that's interesting, just based on our budget. If you look up there at Bryan County's state court open, you see 647. What that tells me is that for the 2025 statistics, Bryan County had more misdemeanor cases than Liberty County did. It has officially crossed that threshold where it has surpassed y'all. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. That's just what our numbers show. Obviously, Bryan County Superior Court caseloads are still staying low, but their misdemeanor numbers are just going out of this world, and we'll talk more about that on the next slide also. The other counties have stayed generally around the same. Tattnall County, we were able to hire an attorney, finally, a full-time attorney for Tattnall County. She's my chief assistant. She's been doing great. I've spoke with the sheriff as well as the county manager from over there in Tattnall County, and they're tickled pink to finally have someone that is over there working those cases and getting those prison cases moved. So we're hoping to see some significant progress on those. As far as all the other counties, like I said, they've pretty much stayed in line. As the clerk said, now we have seen an increase. I think that goes without saying. You know, our numbers increase every year. I haven't seen a reduction since my 16 years of being here. My drawer always gets more full, no matter how hard I work. So, and then this is the actual budget. And for the first time ever, and probably for the last time in my tenure here, I'm actually asking for a reduction from my ask for last year, which I know y'all don't never hear that, and that's probably unheard of. But I want to explain why that is. Based on those state court numbers that I just showed you, you'll notice this year right there on Bryan County, there's a 0 right there on that state court contribution. For the past 12 months, for the past 10 months, I have been trying to get additional resources and office space in Bryan County to accommodate for those increases in state court numbers. We currently have 1 attorney and 1 support staff in Bryan County. Let's go back a number. Whenever I tell you we have 1 attorney and 1 support staff in Bryan County, we see Bryan County's numbers. They have almost as many cases, if not more, than Liberty County. In Liberty County right now, I have 3 on-staff attorneys, I have 3 administrative assistants, an investigator, and I'm hiring a new investigator. That's what it takes for us to effectively do Liberty County. There's no way I can do Bryan County State Court and Bryan County Superior Court with half of that. What we can do is Bryan County Superior Court. So tomorrow, assuming y'all approve the budget, tomorrow I will be dropping off documentation to Bryan County, letting them know that we will no longer be able to assist them with their state court. There is another slide after this one that we'll go over. Actually, I'll go to that one first, and then we'll come back so I can show you all the numbers. This is what I view as our next steps in my office. This is my vision for the office. I want to increase support staff salaries. Just like the clerk said, retention is much better than hiring and training these folks. Ms. Glenna has been with our office for 16 years. It'd take me 16 years to get somebody that was half as good as her. So if I can pay her an extra $5,000 and keep her, that's just the best investment that I could ever make. So I want to get where essential support staff that allows our attorneys to effectively do their jobs. They help keep the jail population monitored, which I know we all like. That's how people get scheduled for court. If we have the staff that we need, they can look through those jail populations and schedule these folks for court. And they do so much more that I couldn't put on a list. Just like the clerk, I could have made this thing 20 slides with just what their day-to-day is. We could not do our jobs without them. They're our only resource to help us balance out that scale that I showed y'all earlier. We have administrative assistants and investigators. We do not have a law enforcement agency that works for us. We do not have an arm of the federal government that will come to our assistance. Everything that we do is with y'all's support, thankfully. The other issue is pay parity and attorney salaries. I'm not sure how many of y'all have been paying attention to this legislative session, but pay parity was very popular conversation this year between the DAs and the PDs. I do anticipate that ultimately this will be passed and will go into effect. Whenever that happens, the public defenders that are state funded will have to, their salary will have to be increased to meet equivalent DA salaries. Historically, DAs have been paid much more than PDs, so they're trying to fix that discrepancy. We have attorneys that are solely county funded. Once those laws take effect, I don't think it will obligate the counties to do it, but realistically, if we're looking at it from a common sense perspective, if we don't increase those salaries to mirror what the state's paying, someone's going to go find a state gig and take that job somewhere else and take that raise. So not an issue for this year. Like I said, I'm actually asking for a reduction this year. Everything that's on this slide is to prepare y'all for 12 months from now, because come next April, I'm going to put together a plan. I'm going to come in here with a clearly articulable how I'm going to fix these problems. But today, I've got 2 open positions, and asking y'all for more money whenever I can't fill the ones I got seems kind of just fruitless. So I'm not even going to insult y'all's intelligence like that. But I want to prepare y'all for what I'm trying to fix in 12 months. The story I was telling y'all about was this right here. I had an individual contact me. He had 30 years of legal experience. He'd been a 30-year prosecutor. He was very interested in coming to public defense. However, whenever I did the math and looked at my budget, I could pay him $85,000. When he started handing out his resumes, the Chatham County DA's office paid him at least $120, and I think they paid him $135 because in the end he told me he was making more than I was. So, and this man's just an assistant district attorney. So whenever they can pay like that, I'm never going to get that experience. I'm never going to hire that man. And it is what it is, but I would like to try to get closer if I could. But like I said, I don't think just throwing money at the problem's the solution. We need to facilitate locals. I don't want to be bringing people down here from Atlanta. They're not going to stay very long.
Would the workload, though, be the same? He may make more in Chatham County, but does he have a heavier workload than he would have here in?
Perhaps, and I wouldn't practice law in Chatham County if they bought me a house and paid me to live in it, but, you know, that comes with its own set of headaches. I mean, I will say, we had an attorney that worked for us that he recently left us, went into private practice, and is now at the Chatham County DA's office. When he worked for us, he was making 70. At the Chatham County DA's office now, he's making 110. So even for, I mean, and that attorney's got 2-3 years experience. So, I mean, across the board, Chatham County is just throwing more money at their problems than anybody else can afford to do. But they also don't stay there very long because I know that work has got to be bad. So they have a very high turnover just like we do. Our turnover hasn't actually been that bad. In the last 12 months, we've only had 1 attorney leave, and I was able to replace him fairly quickly, luckily. But he actually went to Atlanta to chase that money, and after about 2 months moved back, and now he's back in the area. So they never stay going very long. It's just very enticing.
Our salary surveys don't cover these type of positions, do they? No. No. How the state helps to set what salary ranges should be for?
Yes, sir.
They do? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 72 has been kind of where the state's been at forever, and what we're pushing for as the Georgia Public Defenders Council is to get that closer to about 80. So it's significant by the time you add benefits. Now, the one thing that I learned in the last 12 months is whenever you give somebody a $1,000 raise, you just really gave them $2,000 raise. Nobody tells you that whenever you in economics class, but I've had to learn it the hard way. Giving people a small raise costs a lot of money. So, and that's the main difficulty on that. But none of this has passed yet. So it's still, at the legislative session just ended. It didn't pass this time, but I know they said next year we're going right back out there again. So they're going to keep bringing this up, and it's going to keep getting pushed. Eventually, it will one day pass because it's the fair thing to do. I mean, DAs and PDs have very similar jobs.
So what Chatham County is doing is a supplement then?
Oh,
to
yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah. They're supplementing that state pay a lot. They're writing some big supplements over there.
Any idea what our neighboring counties do as a supplement? How?
I know that just comparatively, Glenn County supplements theirs pretty good, too. I've spoke with the CPD over there in Glenn County, and they're doing similar to what we are, but they also have a lot more. They don't do things that we do, like juvenile court. They have that kerfuffle over there with that. So there's certain things, but all the counties.
Not all apples, apples.
It's definitely not.
Comes to, okay.
It's definitely not. And like I said, I mean, at this point, I don't even have a number that I would throw at you to insult your intelligence because I don't have any math to back it up. I just know that we're on a road to where we're not going to be competitive, and I want to be able to put together those numbers. By the time I see y'all next year, I will have those surrounding counties numbers, and I can tell y'all exactly where we fall as far as competition with those. And like I said, I mean, so far, my main problem is finding young lawyers who want to come down here and not go to Atlanta. I can pay them 70. They can make 150 in Atlanta. I mean, yeah, the cost of living is 3 times as much, but kids don't think like that. So It's just the difficulty in recruiting them down here, and that's why I'm really making a concerted push for locals, because I think they'll stay. That's what I am, and that's why I'm here. I ain't getting too close from Granny's house. I got to eat. And the last point on here is the state court agreements. Historically, whenever our agency was set up, the state court agreements and that calculation, that formula that's used was created then, and I can go ahead and tell y'all that does not work real good for 2026. What we did in 2005 don't apply to 2026's numbers no more. We have several issues that have come up in state court that is causing great difficulties. Conflicts, for instance, whenever my office goes to represent someone in state court and they have a co-defendant, there is nothing currently in our state court agreement or budget which contemplates me retaining that person of conflict attorney. My office can't handle that. We can't represent both those people if they're pointing a finger at each other. So what I have to do is take money out of our general budget to retain private counsel for one of those defendants in state court. Usually costs somewhere between $500 and $1,200 a piece. If you have 10 of those a month, it don't sound like much, but it adds up quick for something that's not currently contemplated in the budget whatsoever. We also have the administrative costs. Those same people that the clerk we're talking about is going down there in their office, those are usually the ones charged with a suspended license or a speeding ticket. They seem to fuss the loudest. Most of our clients charged with serious crimes, they don't want to come to our office. The ones that want to come to our office and complain is the one charged with a speeding ticket. So the administrative costs, every minute that my admin sits at that window arguing with somebody is 1 minute she's not going through that jail list scheduling folks who's in jail for a court. That is a cost. And additionally, the ethical requirements for misdemeanors. As an attorney, whether a defendant is charged with a misdemeanor or a felony, our ethical obligations are the exact same. We have to treat those two cases that they're saying. One of them's looking at the rest of his life in prison, one of them looking at 12 months and a fine. Don't make a difference to lawyers. So whenever I showed y'all those case distribution numbers, I mean, we have to, those 255 felonies, we have to treat those 647 misdemeanors the exact same. So in what world does it make sense for us to leave one of them felonies sitting there at the jail while we trying to work out a suspended license? Because we're going to get that suspended license worked out, but if it takes an hour-long meeting at our office to do that, we just costed ourselves time at the jail. So that's the main issue with the state court. And then whenever you look at the budget, and I'm going to be honest with y'all, between now and next year, I would like to go to each of the 4 counties that we're still doing state court for, because, I mean, if you look, under the original calculation, Liberty County's paying pretty much the entire expense for state court. Right. It's based on the amount and the percentage of the cases for misdemeanors that each county has. Liberty County had 647, Evans County had 65. That's 10%. They're going to pay 10% as much as y'all. That's how the math works out. But then whenever you look at this, I've talked to every lawyer I know. There's not a lawyer in Southeast Georgia going to come cover Evans County State Court for $19,000. There's not a lawyer in the world going to go cover Long County State Court for $21,593. Now, I could probably find one to cover y'all's for $160. But even that, I mean, that's going to be paying the lawyer, and then we got the admin, and y'all are pretty much paying the bill for the other counties the way this calculation works. So I would like, and I didn't want to rush this and come in here with some half-put-together plan. This is very close to what y'all paid last year. The main thing that pushed y'all's price up so much, as I spoke to Mr. Mosley about at our meeting, is the putting that 0 there for Bryan County State Court. But I just can't continue to facilitate those types of case numbers with 2 people whenever here we have 8 and we're barely getting by. And so that is basically how we got here. Like I said, the total ask for this year is about $2,000 less than it was the previous year. Next year, I will be coming at y'all with a plan, and I will not be asking for less money, sadly. I'm probably going to be asking for more, but I'll have a plan as to why we need that and what we plan to do with it.
But when you say, you're going to put Bryan County on notice that you can't serve their state court
Yes, sir.
fees? Even when you say covering Evans at 19 is not a fair price.
Yeah, right.
So what's your discussion with them?
That's what I'm going to spend the next 12 months talking to them about, because I've talked to most private lawyers to see what they would charge me if I wanted to contract that out, because I figure that's one of the best ways. I mean, if you ain't going to be me, you're going to be one of them. So what would they want? I mean, that's the start, because I'm worth just as much as them, if not more, because the one thing you get with us is when you call us, we answer the phone, because we're always at the office. private lawyers in court a lot. So that's my starting point, and I don't know what those numbers are yet. I can tell you in my heart, I don't want to do state court for no amount of money, because I'd like to focus on felonies, but I'm also not going to leave everybody hanging if we can get the money right.
All right.
Because, I mean, I know that it's easier for the counties if we do it. Otherwise, you're dealing with a private lawyer who's a part-time job. He's going to treat it as such. That's why a lot of the counties went to us in the first place, because when you consolidate it down, you get a professional service. And like I said, we treat every case the same, whether you felony or misdemeanor. You walk in our office, we just ask you, which charge with felony or misdemeanor? Your file goes in the same drawer. So we look at every case the same. Most people that you contract for that, you're only going to get them their services that they're in court, and they won't work outside of that for the most part.
I just know that we had some disparity on the Superior Court side too.
Yes, sir.
With the counties
Yes, sir.
paying their fair share.
Yes, sir.
These commissioners made it clear that Liberty County shouldn't have to pay somebody else's bill.
Understandable. I agree with that. And I think I think everybody's been paying since we had that issue last time, because I went and told them the same thing. Me and Mr. Nelson both did. So, and one other thing, I know nobody asked, I'm sure someone's going to. Back to the case numbers, 90% of those felonies that you see closed, where it says felony closed, felony closed, felony closed, last year I told you about the $750 attorney's fees that we were doing. Those have been ordered on at least 90% of all those cases. Now, the collection, as I told y'all, was always going to be a slow rollout. We started doing this in about September or October, so the last numbers that I got are from January. I have spoke to several of the clerks from the circuit, and they have told me that they have been seeing the checks. I don't know what the numbers are yet. That's another thing that I will get y'all updated as soon as I get some real numbers and data for it. But I do know it's been ordered, and so therefore, no matter what, as I told y'all last time, we are trying to recuperate money that has historically just been left on the floor.
Has it been hitting our books? Okay. All right. Commissioner Frazier.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First of all, I want to say again, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
You were over there for many years, but now you're the head. And we definitely appreciate you and your commitment, to public service, because that's definitely what you're doing. Because you and I both know you could go somewhere else and make a lot more money.
I got offered about $250 about a week ago.
Trust me, I know. I know it. So first of all, I want to say thank you for that. If we could go back to the county case statistics.
Yes, sir.
Oh, there it goes, right there. When we're talking about, well, we'll start there with Liberty County. And again, like we said, we're looking at like the misdemeanors and all of that. But what really I focused on was with the juveniles.
Yes, sir.
Can you just briefly discuss a little bit about some of the cases that you all have been dealing with, and also what the process has been on the backside?
For juveniles?
Yes, sir.
For specifically? Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, Mr. Kelly represents our juveniles. To be honest with you, he had a vehicle accident, and historically, in my 16-year career doing this, I've covered juvenile court probably about 20 times total. They usually keep me handcuffed in Superior Court for the most part, but during my time in juvenile court, just an example that I know of, 2 Fridays ago, we had a 2 o'clock jury trial scheduled over there. It was for an incident involving an argument between a mother and a child. The child had been placed in DFACS custody down in Florida with a family member, and when they brought him up, we talked about it. He ultimately entered a plea and has been doing great down in Florida. So I have covered juvenile court a few times here this year, and for the most part, they deal with the delinquency stuff. And the juvenile judges are great here in the Atlantic Circuit. They really try to help folks out. The reason why you see these numbers so low is because, honestly, I feel like a lot of them, they try to help outside of all this. Because once you get your name in the court system, you kind of get a label for the rest of your life.
Right.
And I think they really do a good job on trying to minimize that. And our juvenile numbers historically are fairly low because, they work with them so well. We do a lot of pretrial stuff, a lot of pre-adjudication, a lot of, do we really need to throw a label on this man at this
So we
point?
do have like a pretrial for the juveniles.
When we can,
Okay.
they do as much as they can. As far, and you can do unsupervised supervision, those kind of things, where you just basically, because most young kids, if they're going to straighten up, you put the fear of God in them, you can figure out pretty quick which direction he's going to go, and they do a really good job of doing that. And I've never had a complaint about our juvenile numbers. I've never seen anything crazy happen in there. For the most part, it's just, good kids hanging out with bad people.
Right, okay, and then I guess that's what I was getting at, because, but I do see, whenever you're looking at Liberty County, I'm not a math major, but what is that, about 60%?
Oh, yeah, we're the lion's share.
Right,
We're
okay.
the lion's
Yeah,
share.
and I was just wondering, because I know in the metro Atlanta area, they definitely had like the pretrial, especially for juveniles, to kind of offset
Right.
them instead of giving them
Right.
time, putting them to work and
I don't think we have a formal pretrial program, but we have prosecutors and judges on the bench that are very.
pretty much understand the process.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
They'll like look at a case and be like, I mean, this is the first time I've ever seen. Now, if you've been in there 10 times,
Right.
at some point they're like, you're going on probation. It's
Yeah,
not to the RY.
right, you're a
But
habitual line stepper at
someone
that
that we've
time.
never seen before, mama comes in here and says this is out of character. He's been hanging out with this wrong crowd. Like, they're not real quick to slap a label on him and try to ruin his life. We more try to see if there's anything we could do to help this to make it where this never happens again.
Right, good deal. And then back to Bryan County.
Yes, sir.
You're saying state court. And
Yes, sir.
also, I see a zero with McIntosh County, so you're doing the same thing with them as well?
McIntosh County has contracted their state court for a number of years now.
Okay.
I don't recall when that changed. It was before my tenure, and I've never really done state court for the most part. So, but, yeah, McIntosh contracts with Mr. Oliver, and like I said, I've got a notice to take to Bryan County tomorrow, but I wanted to do this first because, and full disclosure, I did meet with the, what was his title? The county office space manager in Bryan County a couple times, 3 times, to discuss whether or not accommodations could be made, and the courthouse isn't growing, was basically what I was told. So, I mean, we did make the efforts, and I would have loved to have tried to continue to help them out, but I just can't keep one attorney and one support staff doing these kind of numbers.
Oh, understood.
First thing Atlanta told me about was get your Bryan County's attorney's case numbers down. Her case numbers are twice as high as anybody else in the circuit.
Right, and she's there by herself.
Correct.
Understood. So I guess you're just on contract that out.
No, they are.
They are, okay.
Yeah.
That's even better.
Yeah.
And then I guess the last question I have, Mr. Chair, whenever you was discussing about interns.
Yes, sir.
What are you looking for, like collegiate, college interns, or?
I'm gonna be honest with you, if they got a body and a pulse and a positive attitude, I'd love to talk to them.
Right, because the reason why I was saying, I don't know if he participated in the past with our summer internship program. We have some kids as well that might be fitting for you as well, so
We'll take them.
there we go.
Like I said, ultimately, what we really want is people that's more legal. And if they want to go to the DA's office, I don't care. I would love for them to come work for us before they go be DAs.
Right.
That way, they got a more grounded idea of what this whole thing is. Because people who are career DAs or career public defenders, you got to do both. I went to the DA's office for about 2 years. I came right back. This is home for me. I didn't want
Right.
to be over there. I learned my lesson,
Absolutely.
but I got to go look.
Yeah.
So I think seeing the whole system in its entirety is priceless. So I would love for anybody who's interested to come out and work. I mean, if I get more positions, we have more openings, we're always hiring locals. Like I said, I try to focus on the people that have a local address and ties because
Absolutely.
I just feel like them's the ones that's going to stay with us.
Yes, sir, I appreciate it. So
But I would definitely get with y'all about the summer internship program, see if we can't opt into that.
expeditiously.
We'd love to have
We're
it.
having interviews on Saturday.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you so much.
Questions from Mr. Brockins? Commissioners, you know that they always come to us
Early.
because of their budget cycle, so that's why we have to entertain
Yes, sir.
his presentation. Now, you did a good job now. He did kind of put us on notice that it won't be the same presentation next year, so.
That's why I'm here. And I actually told them, next year my plan is, and I was going to do it this year, but next year I'm going to make my whole office come so that way they can hear the spiel, and I'm going to use them as some exhibits over here because I want y'all to actually put a face to some of these folks that's struggling so hard with some of these case numbers.
Yeah.
Tell them bring some tissue too.
There we go.
That works.
There we go.
We like props.
There we go.
There we go.
All right, where are those numbers?
It's on
Be our portion there.
Liberty County, Brockington, pick, Samantha, somebody isolate me the Liberty County numbers that we're responsible for. I know we get reimbursed, so I think that's where you're headed.
We'll approve the entire budget, the 1.6 million, but the The right-hand column, the one second to the end, the
1.6.
636,000 is our share, net of those other county billings.
And the other counties go through the same process we're going through in the circuit?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. For the most part, if they'll answer my calls. Y'all, Mr. Mosley always contacts me, so this one right here is always scheduled for me. I gotta
Just
check.
make sure they pay their bills.
I gotta chase them down. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, did we make the motion with contingency of them?
Well, they going to approve it. I can promise you that. They ain't got
He
to.
says no, okay. All right, Chair, entertain a motion.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, make a motion.
Second, Mr. Chair.
Approve.
Second. Thank you again for coming in service. And I think it's a good idea, you being live streamed, so taxpayers get to hear kind of what these funds,
Yes, sir.
how they're addressed.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
And they hear you also say, my budget's lower this year, but I'm not promising you that next year.
Correct. And like I said, for me, it's more like whenever I come before y'all with that ask and that plan, I want to have a plan so I can lay it out just like this. I mean, I've got 2 open positions right now. If y'all had 2 lawyers, I'd hire them, ask y'all for more money, but as long as I got 2 open lawyer positions, I mean, that's what I need. I need 2 licensed attorneys. I don't need more money. I don't think that's going to help the problem. I need the applicant.
All right. All in favor, show your hands, please.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
If we can do anything for you, let us know.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. 12 months, we'll be back.
Mr. Chair, when Ms. Richardson come up, can we take care of items E, F, and G while we're at it? While she's up?
E, F, and G,
Yes, sir. All of them are on her purview.
we'll think about it while she. Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem.
Usually finance stuff is all grouped together, but it's fine either way. Good evening. The first item on the agenda for finance is the February 2026 financial statements. Through the end of February, we have collected in general fund 63% of our total anticipated revenues for the year. Right alongside that, we have spent 61% of our total expenditures for the year. February was a good month of collections for property taxes. And as I come back next month, March was an even better month. We currently have 4.75 months of operating expenditures in our unreserved fund balance. This compared to where we were last February, it's up. 2025, we reported 4 months of operational expenditures in our fund balance. If we look at the departmental budget to actual report, there are a few that are currently showing over budget for the month of February. The risk management department is where we pay our annual retirement contribution. It's a one-time a year. That's causing this department to show over budget, but it actually will not be once we get to the end of the year. The judicial administration, this is our cost for court reporters, and it fluctuates throughout the year. It's based on the timing of the court cases and that sort of thing, but they're certainly increasing, as we've heard from the 2 court
Everybody.
representatives, yes. So for our upcoming budget year, we're actually proposing to increase that just to cover where we are actually on cost. Superior Court, this is skewed for the year due to some payments made for the law library early in the fiscal year. The jail is currently showing ahead of schedule for their inmate food contract. And the jail has, we collect a jail construction and staffing revenue and sweep that in to cover some of their budget periodically throughout the year. So in March, this was done, so it should level out and they should not be over budget next month. Animal control it's coming down, still showing ahead of schedule a little bit for February, but it is coming down and leveling out. But this is for food supplies and other supplies.
Does Steve have a plan for that? I mean, is that it is what it is, or is that something that we can do as a county to maybe lower those costs for food supplies. Is this something that's epidemic among all animal control officers, or is it unique for Liberty?
I know he shared, Mr. Chair and members of the board, that in times past, he was getting grant funds to help in those areas, but he said because we were doing so well that they weren't as generous in helping us out.
So let them know we're not doing as well.
Not in this area, yes.
Turn the faucet on again.
The road department, sorry, Clinton, is currently showing ahead of schedule or over budget for equipment repairs. These occur, without warning and have to be, to be repaired immediately to keep our services rolling. Recreation is showing ahead of schedule for temporary employees. This is another one where we have revisited it in our upcoming FY27 budget. It has it needs an increase, truthfully, and but let's see. If we turn the page to solid waste, we currently have revenue exceeding our total expenditures for the month of about $670,000. This represents collections of 63% of our revenues for the year, and we've spent 50% of our total expenditures. There are currently no single departments showing ahead of schedule for solid waste. Let's see, did I look at that? The same is true for our special revenue funds. Nothing is showing ahead of schedule for this month of February as well. And sales tax. So for February, we collected 1.1 million for sales tax 7. And we have spent a total of 25.1 million on our SPLOST 7 projects. We've collected 39.2 million in total revenue, 39.2 million in SPLOST proceeds, which is cumulatively, we've collected about 7 million more than what we originally budgeted for SPLOST 7. And T-SPLOST, as you guys are aware, this T-SPLOST ended, and then our new T-SPLOST took effect recently for collections. But we had a little bit of funds trickle in for the month of February, about $10,000. And to date, we've spent, let's see, T-SPLOST, 35.3 million on our T-SPLOST projects, and we brought in 59.8 for T-SPLOST revenues. And that concludes my finance presentation.
The increase in fees we did for the solid waste.
Mm-hmm.
And when I see the 49, that's depreciation.
So the revenues certainly are increasing for the rates that are charged by the department, as well as those assessments, based on the recommendation from the Culbertson study. It's going to take a number of years to kind of catch up enough to start paying general fund back for those monies that were fronted, but there certainly is an increase, a drastic increase in our collections.
When those funds come from the tax collector's office, is it a special line item?
It's a separate
It's separate,
check,
yeah.
actually,
Okay.
that goes into that solid waste
Okay.
cash account. Yes, sir.
All right.
And, Mr. Chairman, those mobile homes, they just are due, I think, this month. So
That's
we
correct.
haven't-
Yes,
we
ma'am.
haven't received those yet.
So
It's
that'll
like
be
2
coming.
Yeah, that'll probably be a couple month lag time, but those are in the works too.
Yes.
Closer?
And as Commissioner Thrift mentioned, that's where we're going to aggressively go after all those delinquent on the mobile home for the assessments and the other fees. So we've met and with the committee, and we're going to aggressively go after those that are delinquent.
I guess while we're talking, so I know we did increase on the water bills too.
When was the water last
That
year?
went into effect July of last year.
Last year.
Yeah. And I'm only saying that because I know some other governmental agencies did not do that in a timely manner, and it's something that will catch up with you, because if you don't take it and use it to do your maintenance, then you'll have those
Absolutely.
maintenance costs, and then you'll have to all of a sudden try to recoup that from taxpayers, and
Yes,
they are not happy when that happens, so.
absolutely.
So make sure that
Yes.
ours is on track, okay. All right. Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Samantha? Next one. You said you-
Just real quick.
I'm sorry.
Just simple.
Okay.
Ms. Richardson, where was I? When we was talking about the undesignated fund balance, we're up to 4.7. On average, what, for 1 month, I can't remember, what is it, a little bit over 5?
Costs like $5.5 million
Half, right.
to operate for 1
Okay.
month, yes.
5.5.
Maybe a little less, but around that, yes, sir.
Oh, and then, Mr. Chair, what she was saying about recreation, yeah, because we just recently had our district recreation department competition, and we have 75 entries that's going to state on next week, so.
Wow.
Our recreation department is definitely growing, and the kids are really doing a phenomenal job. So, I mean, they were out there, and they would have made you Liberty County proud. Just let you know,
Straight to the state.
straight to state, straight to state.
Thank you. Next item.
Do you want me to go?
Yes.
Continue? Okay, yes, sir. Let's see, the 2026, if we, the 2026 estimated rollback millage rate, starting with the House Bill 581, last year, the state took off the assessment notice portion where it calculated your tax. However, it added, you will have to estimate your rollback millage rate, including on your assessment notices. So they are requiring us to go ahead and put something on the assessment notice for our upcoming millage. And as you guys know, we don't have the digest, so we're proposing that we include last year's millage, just because we don't have any better information. So that is what you guys have in front of you, is just last year's county portion of the millage rates. So this will need to go for approval this evening to comply with the state standards.
With those, Mr. Chairman, with those, and I was going to ask you how you calculated that, but anyway.
Last year.
Yeah, last year's. But with the other two municipalities,
Because
Walterville and Flemington, would they be able to collect?
Yes, ma'am, they're on here. So the county assesses a tax for those. Yes, ma'am.
Flemington and Walterville,
Because
Hinesville.
they're taxing agencies now.
Yeah.
So we won't be able, there's duplicated services.
We have to roll those back. Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
Okay, got it.
And Mr. Chair, I guess another question is, did we discuss this or reach out to ACCG or any of the other counties to see if it is the same process that they're doing?
So
the
Keith
county,
Keith
around the
and I spoke to the chief assessor in Cobb County
Okay.
recently, and we actually called a lady at the state DOR just for guidance. They said there is legislation that might change the assessment notices, awaiting Kemp, to make a decision at the state level. But they are going ahead with their process as well, because our assessment notices have deadlines in early May. So, but yes.
And speaking of that, Mr. Chair,
To be continued.
yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. I don't know if we, and I guess our next workshop or something, just reach out to ACCG. They were very helpful to kind of help explain all this new legislation that is in the process now. And like I said, even with me being on the policy committee during this entire session, I'm still confused.
Sure.
So I know everyone in all 159 states are confused, but I know, well, I'm sorry, counties. So I know if we reach out to them, they better, Todd or any of them.
We can do it.
Thank you.
This
So
is,
you ready for a motion?
yes, sir, Chairman. Yes, sir.
So move.
That we use the 2020, last year's millage rate. Now, so that, what, just, so.
Yes.
The other tax agents got to do the same thing that we're doing?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. All right. But, well, we don't have to wait on them for filing, do we?
For the digest submission, it's the county, well, the county, they have to adopt their millage rate
Yeah.
prior to us being able to adopt ours.
Yeah.
But yes, and the BOE as well.
Yeah. Some of them are experienced at it, some of them aren't.
Yes,
Are they calling you as a resource?
yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
I kind of figured as much. I figured as much. Okay. All right, all in favor, show of hands, please. Motion passed. Thank you, Ms. Matham.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is the county's 5-year CIP plan. We've discussed this at the retreat in March, as well as a little bit yesterday at one of our budget workshops. But this, I provided a printed out copy for you all just for your review, that to comply with state standards, we do need to vote this tonight as well.
Yeah, we discussed this yesterday for those of you who were here. And prior to that time, our CIP committee met with our staff. And once again, I'll allow them to speak to the presentation from finance.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, CIP Finance Committee met, and per the recommendation from our finance director and our bondsman, that we would approve to use these funds for these expenditure items.
Oh, I thought we had them on, you didn't put them on the screen.
Oh, no, I just printed them out for you guys.
For these items, it would cost the county quite a bit more to go back and redo the loan on the health department. It's very unusual to come in under bid, I guess, or under,
Under budget.
with the amount that was borrowed for the health department. So we have those funds left over, and we've seen items in the CIP that had been sitting there for several years or so that we're able to use these funds for.
Say, where did you yesterday on some of these
Dire
things?
Straits, Mr. Wells.
Yes.
He needs these items. That's for the road department, I do believe. Is his item on there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Well,
that's the first item,
yes.
solid waste.
Any questions? If not, Chair, entertain a motion. All recommendation of Finance Office and our CIP Committee. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second. We approve this. Any further discussion? All in favor, show your hands, please. All right. Let's get that.
Do we need a second vote on the CIP itself versus the recommendation from the CIP committee? Or will one suffice?
Yes, is that this item where we've removed some of those and we're paying, is that why we need to approve this?
Just the whole plan for the next
Had to
5
be the
years?
Next 5 years, okay,
Yes,
well, I'll
ma'am.
make a motion that we approve
Okay.
the CIP capital requirements. This board has put in place to hopefully save and be able to meet the needs of our county departments.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Motion is second. We approve the CIP capital requirements list. Thank you all for your hard work on that.
Yes, sir, and I would, I want to mention that some of these items are able to be paid for through SPOS, T-SPOS, not necessarily in the budgeted item.
Yes, ma'am, correct.
Thank you.
So let's appreciate the folks of Liberty County for supporting SPOS and T-SPOS.
Yes, sir.
Coming to our rescue again.
And Mr. Chair, just for the record as well, from my understanding, this is a live documentation, so we can make adjustments doing,
On that 5-year, yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
there we go.
All in favor, show your hands, please. Motion passes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're on a roll, Mr. Matthew. Now let me find my place here. Engineering, is that right,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Long?
Good evening. Hope everybody's doing well.
Hello, sir.
Good. We've had a lot of things going on this month. So I'll try to hit through these pretty quick and go through it. The Main Trail subdivision, we should be putting that out for bid during late May. So we got all the funding ready for it. We're ready to go on that. The Butter Blunt Road, Commissioner Blunt made a great progress on some easements and right-of-way this weekend, which is great. So hopefully we'll be seeing a little bit more activity on that one, so.
All legal?
Kudos to Commissioner Blunt. So that one's kind of been stalled a little while because we're waiting on it. Freeman Grove Road, we've got those improvements out, waiting on the contractor to get started. All the contracts are executed. He had some surgery, so he's trying to get back on his feet a little bit and get it going. So we'll be back on that pretty quick. So he's doing good there. Sunshine Lake Road, contractor's pretty close to finished. Asphalt's down, got a lot of things done. Few little minor things I think that he can finish up and he'll be in good shape. Jones Creek Pavilion, I think everybody got to get out there this past week and see that it looks really good. And that's only about 10% of the landscaping that we have in the contract. So we have a lot more coming and a lot more to do out there. So you'll see more as that goes along, but it's a stark difference from what it looked like this time last year. Live Oak Drive drainage, not drainage, the paving. We're waiting on the contractor to kind of give us the schedule and getting out there and get that done. The EMS building.
Just real quick. I know some here, it still had that original bid price for the whole Gusto, or was I looking at the wrong thing?
Yeah, no, that's further up. Yeah, and I didn't put the newer contract price on here, and I
That's fine.
apologize.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah, no,
we're not
I'm glad you said that, because I was reading through this earlier today, and I was like, something just seems wrong. So I'm glad you noticed that, so.
Couple extra zeros that need to be deleted off of there now.
Yeah, there you go. Got it. I will have that fixed before the next meeting.
Thank you, sir.
We have been working on a big topo out there at the airport, Mid-Coast Airport, and that is finished finally. That was pretty intense stuff going through the woods, getting that done. Mary Todd Road, I've requested a update from the guy doing the appraisals.
Yes.
So we should be pretty close to finished. So I'm just trying to find with him, and I talked to a couple people today, had not heard from him. So I'm trying to make sure that he's gotten in touch with everybody.
Okay.
Barrington Ferry, 17, and Lewis Fraser Road, that roundabout is getting pretty close. We have our preliminary field plan review. The actual review in the field is on May 7th. We'll start over at the DOT office in Savannah, and we'll come back over and we'll actually walk the site. By the end of this month, we'll end up staking out the center of the road so everybody can see where it goes and how it fits. So that, once we get it done, you guys can kind of go walk it and say, what are we doing here? But it's coming along pretty good. We're about to get that one to a point where we can start going to final construction plans. Yes, sir.
I know sometimes to make improvement, you have to make things a little,
Inconvenient.
how much trouble are we going to have? I mean, not trouble, but how much traffic-wise you have to see we're gonna have problems.
So that's going to be about a 6-month construction process, somewhere around there. During the construction, the first phase of it, where they're building most of the roundabout, they'll be able to keep traffic on 17 going well, because we won't divert off of 17 while they're building the bulk of the roundabout, because it goes in the triangle. Now, once we start doing the part that encroaches on 17, we're going to reroute through the roundabout. So there will be a period of time that's going to be, we'll get some phone calls. We'll get some complaints. But that should be a relatively short period of time. And then once that's done, then you'll just be going right into the roundabout and using the roundabout. Now, we are putting a roundabout on a roadway that everybody's used to driving 55 miles an hour down right through that area, and they're going to have to slow down, and it's going to be a different pattern for them. So there'll be a learning curve for all us local people that drive through it every day. My wife is already complaining to me about it.
Roundabout where everybody keeps running a stop sign.
Well, when we have deaths there too. So, you know, it's a safety issue.
Will DOT adjust the speed limit since we're doing a roundabout in the middle?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay.
That's part of my design.
So,
So what'll happen is you'll slow down to 45, and then as you get into the roundabout, you've got to be down between 20 and 25 to go through the roundabout. So you've got to slow down significantly. So what you'll find is, you know, the curve, you know, if you're coming from Riceboro toward Midway, you know, you're kind of going around the curve this way. You'll kind of go sharper into the right ditch, and then you'll turn back around. And if you're coming from Midway going to Riceboro, you'll dip down and then turn right. So you'll do a little bit of a twist that's purposely made to slow you down before you get to the roundabout.
So this would be more like the one in McIntosh County, at 99,
No, sir.
17.
No, sir. That's a little bit more elaborate than what we got. Yeah, that's by the Buc-ee's. That's a multi-lane roundabout, and this is definitely a 2-lane roundabout. This is a baby roundabout compared to that.
why do the babies cost so much?
I think every parent asks that question.
Good one, Jay. Good one, good one. Just as long as we, you know, do the signage, and I'm a fan now of the electronic signs that says.
Yes, sir. There'll be message boards
Okay.
that'll be up there kind of telling people what to do.
I'm a fan of that.
Yes, sir. I did what I thought was a pile of signs on my plan, and I was told that I have to have more. And I'm like, how in the world am I going to draw those on the plan? So it's not enough room on the paper. But yes, sir, it's going to be loaded down with signs. And we'll have rumble strips as you approach. There are certain things that you got to have that kind of warn you that you're coming. So, all right, that's all for me tonight. What's that? I don't even get to use my comeback. It ruined my night.
He's gonna wait till you walk halfway to your seat and they call you back.
Just FYI, from the recent HAMPO, the bypass phase 2 has been assigned a DOT, I call it a DOT number, a project number, was that? Jeff, you want
That's good
to
to
make
hear.
that announcement? Those two, that one and the Flemington.
Yes, sir. We are in the process of trying to, thanks to T-Splost and thanks to some additional funds being dedicated in T-Splost to the Hinesville bypass and to the Wallace Martin realignment, we've been working with GDOT, and are in the process of getting a project number assigned for Wallace Martin interchange, and they have just assigned a project number to the Hinesville bypass, which means the phase 2 of the Hinesville bypass, which means that they're eligible for federal funding. So we're now ready to compete for those funds.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Music to our ears. Okay. Property and casualty. Mr. Brandon, you've been very patient with us, sir. Thank you.
It's good to see everybody again.
You got a good reason to be
Your
patient.
dad's here.
There he is. Yeah, he's joining us remotely.
Oh, man, he didn't trust you?
Bobby could have handled it by itself now.
All right, so we're meeting here again to basically go over the. Were you able to get that up on the screen? Yeah. The coverage summary. We went over this last week, excuse me, and basically we needed to get the 2 buildings added, the EMS and the health department. Those were the 2 we were needing to get a price on. The health department was an additional $65,000, and the EMS was $14,000, and that is baked into the $841 in the total property premium there. Having the sprinklers and all that on those really helped the premium come down. Everything else is basically we've went over it last week. Is there any questions as far as that?
So the 65, that's for a year's worth of coverage?
Correct.
Okay.
And I guess the question I have too is, so I know in years previous years, we had an issue, like you said, when the premiums went kind of sky high. So if we have that issue again, will we just drop back down from the 50 million to the 25 million? Or
Yeah, we can
we
drop
look
it
at all
back down.
our options?
Yeah, we'll look at the options to
Okay.
add that extra 25 million based off the property market during that time.
Right.
And to see if it's feasible to do that.
Right, because, and I mean, I get what you all are saying, but I also always remember when you all said that if it's a disaster big enough, it doesn't matter if we have $25 million worth of, or 50, because FEMA's don't come in anyway. So I
Right.
just, you know, dealing with insurance companies sometimes, you know, and I know you all have been great to us, but, you know, sometimes we get overinsured for stuff that we don't need. So I just want to just make sure, definitely since we're dealing with taxpayers' money,
Right.
that's not what we're doing here.
Yeah, that extra 25 gives you a little more cushion, just to kind of do what you want to do rather than FEMA coming in and
Well, I
taking a while.
asked staff to take one more look. Y'all took one more look, and this is,
And
okay.
it's still the recommendation.
All right, all right. Chair, entertain a motion then.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second that we renew this property and casualty coverage for our county, but I got to ensure that our county facilities are covered. It would not make a good news story if we had a disaster or something happened outside of the FEMA stuff, and then we didn't have our coverage. So trying to, as Commissioner Frazier said, be good stewards of the citizens' property too.
Right.
So,
And that's the thing, everyone knows about insurance. Insurance is something that you have to have, but you never want to use. So hopefully, you know, we've been dodging a bullet the last couple of years, and hopefully it'll stay that way. So
all in favor, show your hands, please. All right, motion passes. Thank you so much. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you.
bye, Dad. Oh, I think he's gone already.
Who's in there? I was gonna say LMIG, but it's not LMIG, it's LRA.
Mr. Long, Mr. Chair.
LRA is a cousin to LMIG.
You knew you couldn't get rid of me quite as easy. So this year we have, the LRA program is out. We are able to apply for roadways that fund just like LMIG. The amount of funds that we'll be receiving is $538,975.79. Let me say that again.
You said it too fast.
538,975.79. So, typically we divide that 6 weeks,
I gave up my
or
portion.
7 sometimes. He said last week that we do 6.
That's divided 6
Now,
ways.
we do have, we got the funding set up for the trail subdivision, and we've got other subdivisions to kind of start taking. We also have 2 of our roadways that are in pretty bad shape, one being Homestown Road and one being County Line Road. We've got some LMIG money already established for LMIG, for County Line Road, and we're trying to get that ready to go out for bid here pretty shortly, but it's going to be short of what we have to be able to accomplish everything that we need for County Line Road. So Homestown Road, I think we were at $2.2 million of what we need to do to fix the Homestown Road. We're close to $2 million what we need for County Line Road. So we've got some pretty big needs on those 2 roadways. Now, we've also identified several of these subdivisions that we've been trying to take over. I don't know that we want to go with those with this kind of money, but, I kind of need to get where you guys would like to go so I can apply for this, because I need to submit for this before, isn't it June 15th?
Yes.
Yes.
June 15th.
Yes, so June 15th. So I need to go ahead and do it pretty soon, and I'm going to be gone a lot in May, so I was trying to hit it and try to do it a little bit before.
Well, you
So-
can apply my portion to County Line Road,
Yes, ma'am.
and that's not a whole lot. So if any other commissioner would like to,
Well, the chair said he was going to give up his share.
yeah, so divide that 6 ways.
538 divided by 6 is what, right at 90-something thousand, right at 90,000.
How much?
90?
I need how much do I
My
need
my
for
math
County
is not
Line?
doing great.
Almost 2 million.
Might have to do half the county
Yeah.
line.
I was close. It's $89,829.
Okay.
So
We'll
I
go
rounded to
90.
90.
Put my portion toward Homestown.
Okay. All right, anybody else? You want yours?
Whichever one. Any, miny, mo.
You gotta tell me.
I know. Well, you remember, you were supposed to come back. You said, you know which roads I wanted, so, I mean, we could either put that.
Oh, you wanna go
portion-
ahead and start with one of your, sidewalk
Sidewalks,
jobs?
we could do that.
Okay, that's what you were saying. Sorry. All right,
Let's get a walk.
let's do the Eunice Road one first. Not Eunice.
No, Varnado?
Barnado, that's what I was trying to say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I said that wrong.
Right over there, Bickham Road.
You know, I'm constantly amazed that we have, you know, I know, what's that called where Varno is? It's been there for a while, but it's not an old neighborhood. I'm just amazed that sidewalks weren't a part of the plan when they put the neighborhoods in, back in those.
Back when those neighborhoods went in, there was not a requirement. Actually, a lot of those neighborhoods went in before we even had requirements for curb and gutter.
When I lived in Point South, we didn't even have ditches at first. I remember when they dug the ditches.
Yep,
Yeah, I'm
that was
dead.
little.
Let me get with you and Samantha and see where I am with projects that I had made some promises to. But certainly I'm willing to help out.
Okay.
I appreciate it, Mr. Chairman.
Timmy, you want to do part of yours toward Butter Blunt, or how you?
Make sure you got it covered some other way.
Yeah, no, sir. All right, Gary.
Said it's about, you said it's about 90. Yeah, I'll give half to Homestown and other half to County
Okay.
Line.
Thank you, Commissioner.
But I've always been free-hearted like that. If y'all recall, I gave a bunch of money to the trails,
We recall.
a whole bunch,
Hey,
the only one.
And, you know, I'm not speaking for Commissioner Walden, but we're ready to knock out the, we have one last comment we're fixing with DOT on the turn lane for McIntosh Lake Road, which is one of his projects he asked me for. I mean, do we want to just contact him, see if he wants to put that toward that, or how do we want to try to do that?
I'll catch him tomorrow.
Okay.
You talking about for his 90,000?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So he had some money set aside for the, and we had some LMIG money set aside for the intersection improvements at McIntosh Lake Road and 84. And we're just about finished with that permit, ready to get it out. So if we can use that, that'd be great. So,
Since I'm so liberal, you want me to give you his money?
no way. Well, that's his district, right?
Yeah.
Yes, his district.
Yeah,
I
and
think
so what I was
he'd
trying to
want-
do
I
is
think-
make sure I
I think
had
he'd
something that
wanna go.
covered him as well.
I think he'd want to go with it.
Yeah, he would.
I'll tell you, I'll go ahead and set it up that way, and if you guys want me, we can always change
I'll talk
what we're
to him.
doing.
I'll talk to him tomorrow.
You gonna
Okay,
call him?
just let me know,
I will.
because I won't turn it in tomorrow. I'll wait until next week. Just let me know. Okay. All right, I think that covers everybody.
All right, next.
Anybody? I'm good. I'm gonna be getting the background, because you got two more things. Well, that's a good question. I don't know that we've ever, if we've done them that way or not. You've just kind of always told me, and we fill out the application, the chairman signs it, and we send it in.
Fine.
So, you know, you guys tell me how you want to do it that way.
Authorize him to complete the application.
Yeah, that would be best.
So move, Mr.
Okay.
Chair.
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor, show of hands. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Public hearing for road abandonment at Drum Point Way.
Said public hearing?
Yes, sir. Chair, entertain a motion to go into
So
public.
moved.
Second. Somebody second that, please.
Second.
All in favor, show of hands. Okay. Did anyone sign up, sir?
Mr. Chair, for Drum Point, we have Mr. Dustin McCain, and Dustin is the president of the HOA.
Okay.
And Mr. Michael Roberts, who's also, he's representing property owners on Sunshine Lake Camp Road. That's it, right? Okay. So, Mr. Chair, as a requirement of road abandonment, we have advertised it. We have sent letters to the property owners. We've also, you guys passed an intent to consider resolution. And the last and final part, you have to hold a public hearing, and then close the public hearing and make a recommendation. Make a motion. And then the other part of that, as I was reading the notes from Kelly, is Trent, we're supposed to discuss any cost that may be associated with the property abandonment.
You caught him off guard.
The note from Kelly.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know I was supposed to do that.
Yes, sir. So that's the procedure, sir.
So the floor is open. So, Mr. McCain?
And Mr. McCain would be for Drum Point.
Right. So you just happen to be here? You want to come in and say something about the subject at hand? Trent's approaching the bench.
So, I know since I've lived here since 2010, everybody who's always lived on that road had told us that it was the responsibility of 26 of us property owners to take care of that road. Since I've lived there, I've never seen a Liberty County vehicle down there to cut grass, storm cleanup, pothole repairs, anything. So I know I've personally cut the grass on the side. The rest of our neighborhood, we've chipped in to fill in potholes and everything else. And talking with the older people that have lived there since 70s and 80s, same thing. There's never been any road work done. And, we feel like that we're the ones that have taken care of that road ever since it was paved, and that, we would like to have our road back because we put up a fence, not a fence, but a gate. And I guess that's what kind of caused it to come to light, because as far as we know, we've always owned that road. And I wish we would have known that, because we wouldn't have been taking care of it all this time. So, like I said, we'd like to petition to have our road back.
Okay, all right, thank you, sir. Was there anyone to speak against the abandonment? No? All right. Then let's just go ahead. Am I going to have two public hearings? I'm going to do, wow, okay. Chair, take a motion to go out of public hearing, back in the regular session.
So moved.
Second, all in favor? All right, now Chair, take a motion to approve the abandonment of Drum Point Road.
All right. Thank you, sir. I'm good.
It's a motion that we allow the property owners of Drum Point Way to obtain the roadway, which they have been maintaining for years. That's it about right?
Correct.
Is that second? Second. Second. All right, now you're going to put Mr., thank you, Mr. McCain.
Thank you.
I think our county engineer's coming back. Did we work that out, that piece? Okay.
Okay, so, on this one, there's not any evidence of any money changing hands. If any, it was like $10 or $1, so it's not anything significant of anything. So, but if I'm reading the way this goes right, you've got to agree to abandon the roadway first. Then you can do a motion to transfer. But
Okay.
you can't do the transfer without the abandonment first.
Okay. All right. Well, we have the transfer. Now let's go back and do the abandonment. We'll just make sure
Yes.
we're ready.
Yes, sir.
All right. We just,
Make a motion, we abandon
Drum Point.
Drum Point.
Second, somebody. Second.
So we had a motion on it, so we need to take that motion off the floor.
Does he need to recede that motion
I
and
don't,
Resend it, and then,
Come back and we
put them in the right order? Okay.
really.
I know.
All right.
Formally add that to the agenda, then take it.
And it says abandonment here.
Yeah, if you're gonna, Joe, are you going to?
It'll be, authorize the county attorney to do the transfers, how we can do that in motion.
So if you will, add to the agenda authorization, county attorney.
It's on the agenda here?
That's gonna be a separate agenda item. It just says-
It's only abandoned,
Abandonment.
not the transfer
Can you,
portion.
can you say,
Real estate transfer.
can you say, public hearing for road abandonment and transfer?
Transfer. I think you can.
Yeah. Can you do abandonment and transfer?
We can't do it all together, right?
It's separated.
He said separated.
All right.
Receive the motion first.
Yes.
Got the abandonment on there, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I make a motion that
Hold on.
we rescind the motion that was previously made.
Okay. All right, did someone second that? Who did the second earlier?
Second,
Yeah.
right.
All right, all right. All in favor, we're voting again, all right.
Receive.
All right, so that's
Rescind the motion.
rescinded.
Now,
Motion to
motion to abandon.
abandon.
I make a motion that we go through the process of abandonment on Drum Point Way, which is located in the eastern part of
Yes, all right.
Liberty County.
We know it is, okay. All right. Second the motion, Commissioner Blunt, I'm helping you out. Okay. Any further discussion, all in favor, show of hands.
I just got one quick question. What would be the process if these particular owners move or new owners want us to bring back and have us on that piece of road?
They would petition the.
Yeah,
They have to
petition the
and then
county
have to
to,
see if it meets the requirements and all that?
That's right.
Okay, cool. I just wanted that to be, all right, that's fine.
Motion to transfer.
Chairman, I make that motion that we transfer the Drum Point back to the citizens of Drum Point area.
Don't you?
Oh, I thought we, your question came. All right, I'm sorry. All in favor of the abandonment? Yeah. Yep, thank you for your help. All right. All right.
Now I'll take a motion to add that to the agenda.
Add, transfer to the agenda. Okay. Motion to add the transfer of Drum Point Way to our agenda. Second, somebody?
Second.
Second. All in favor, show of hands. We'll make that for the matter of record item H under new business. All right. I'm sorry, aye, thank you.
Make that motion that we allow the transfer to take place for Drum Point.
Is there a
Second.
Motion and a second that we allow the transfer, we approve the transfer of Drum Point Way to those very fine citizens on that road who've been taking care of it, they said, for all this time. Any further discussion? All in favor, show of hands, please. All right, the transfer.
Effective when?
Chairman, I got one.
Yes, sir.
Last time we talked, we were gonna make sure that all of the emergency service, which is that only has to go to 911, so that if any, we don't want nothing to happen.
I got you. I've already talked to,
Erica.
Brian. All right. Now that we have, we need to do the same.
Yes, sir.
for-
Yes, sir.
Well, let's go ahead and do, amend the agenda. Item J then will be the transfer of Sunshine Campground Road. Can Chair have a motion to that effect, please?
So move,
I'll
Mr.
make
Chair.
a motion for that.
The second. All in favor, show of hands. All right, let's start now with the abandonment. Is there anybody here to speak against, for or against that, Chair?
Mr. Chair, we have Mr. Michael Robertson. He's here. He's here to speak on behalf of the property owner. And for the record, Mr. Chair, what I want to say publicly is that there were some concerns. This piece of property is the last part of the road. And some people would think it was the first part of the road. This is the last part of the road, and it's for that property owner to assume all of that property on the end of that road.
Yeah, there was a, I guess it was a campground at some point, like a fishing camp.
and the homeowner wants to take and abandon the roads, that way we can make it into 3 lots. That way we could put a big house on it and then a cabin on it, and then future later on, maybe put another house. But having the roads go through there, and we can't do anything. So I've already talked to Coastal EMC, Xfinity, Comcast, everybody's and wanted to move it out that way we can put the house in there's a lot of nice oak trees back there. But man, there was so much individual lots that you really couldn't do anything with it without taking the roads out and putting everything back the way it needs to be, as far as having 3 lots. So it's gonna be a nice place. Good owners that wanna.
One individual has bought the entire corner.
Yes,
back
yes, sir.
there.
They bought that section where all the lots are, and they also bought the agricultural tract to the right of it. So they're invested in the community, and they're gonna be good people.
And allowing it to go back to the new property owner will stop any traffic, public traffic.
No, there's no public traffic.
It's all
It's at the very end, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Commissioner Blunt? Well, no. Technically, no. Yeah. Chair, take the motion to go, because we came out to vote, go back into public hearing for
Make a motion.
Come on.
back in the public-
the abandonment and transfer
Being quiet
of Sunshine.
Second.
Being quiet today.
All in favor? All right, we heard the statements from
Mr. Roberts.
Roberts. Thank you, I'm trying to see his name. Okay. All right, now, a motion to abandon.
Make a motion, we abandon the roads in Sunshine Lake pertaining to this property as described.
Second.
Very good? All right. All in favor, show your hand. Now, a motion to transfer.
Make a motion, we transfer.
Second.
All in favor, show your hands, please. All right. It's been an exercise. Yeah, a motion to come out of,
Oh, we did that all wrong, but
Public
we
hearing.
can keep it moving.
yeah.
Okay, all right.
That's good. That's good.
This can get complicated.
Just on the record that we tried.
To their neighbors.
And we all had good intentions, so
think he's
that's all that matters.
The legal name's in there, I believe.
Funding recommendation for CIP at,
Did that, didn't
yes, Samantha, we did that.
That's what I'm
We did
telling you,
that.
boy, we confused tonight.
We did that.
we? Did everything.
You on H, Mr. Chair? H, Mr. Chair.
H. Man, I need a.
We're just waiting on Jeff.
Thought Jeff was already up at one time.
It's back.
Good evening, Chairman, members of the board.
Oh, sir.
Liberty County has been asked to amend its alcohol ordinance, specifically the distance requirements from certain uses from alcohol places that sell alcohol. And I was asked to put together something for you to consider, so I've done that tonight. And looking at your ordinance is fairly old, and it kind of treats alcoholic establishments as one size fits all. A bar is treated the same way as a grocery store that sells beer and wine as is a convenience store. So I've attempted to try to break it out and make it a little bit, kind of break it up and compartmentalize it so you have different standards for a bar versus a grocery store or a convenience store that would sell alcoholic beverages. So does everybody have a copy of the ordinance that I've
Yes.
provided to you? If you want me to, I can kind of go through it with you and just kind of tell you what's being recommended for that. Currently, as I said, your ordinance has one size fits all, so it applies to whether you're running a store or a grocery store or a bar. What I'm proposing is that you separate the types into 2 different types, and really 2 subtypes of the second one. The first one would be on-premise consumption. That would be a establishment where you go and you drink at that establishment. It's either a bar or a restaurant. And what I'm suggesting there is that no original license for on-premise consumption shall be issued unless the building is at least 150 feet away from any area zoned residential, which is what you currently have. Within 300 feet of a government-run alcoholic treatment center building, that's a state law, you don't really have an option on that one. And within 300 feet of a church building or other place used exclusively for religious proceedings, or within 600 feet of any property line of any library, mortuary, school, or college campus. So all of that's just the way it is now for just an on-premises consumption place, like a bar or restaurant. So the second category would be off-premises consumption, and that would be for grocery stores and convenience stores, or just a simple package store. So under item B there, off-premises consumption, this would be for a liquor store, sale of distilled spirits. No original license shall be issued for the sale of distilled spirits for off-premises consumption in a building that is located within 300 feet of a government-run alcoholic treatment center. That's state law. You don't really have an option on that one. And then the second part is within 300 feet of a church building or a place used exclusively for religious proceedings, or within 600 feet of any property line of any library, mortuary, school, or college campus. That's not too different than what you currently have. But if you flip over to the next page, to the second section of that, that's the area that applies to just beer and wine, and that's a little bit less restrictive than the distilled spirit says. That says, no original license shall be issued for the sale of wine or malt beverages for off-premises consumption within a building that is located within 300 feet of a government-run alcoholic treatment center. That's state law, no, not an option. Or within 300 feet of any property line of any school or college campus. That's also state law. So what we're taking out of the beer and wine would be the distance requirements for residentially zoned property and churches. So that makes it easier to locate a convenience store or a grocery store that would be wanting to sell beer and wine. And
The mortuary, that's local?
Pardon me?
Mortuary, that's state or that's local?
The mortuary that's local. Has already been in your ordinance.
I'm not interested.
We just, nip that in the bud too? I mean, why?
Like a cemetery.
Well, I mean, it's a place, if you're locating, mortuaries have solemn moments where people are gathered to, pay respects to the deceased, and if you got people hooting it up next door, it's not, you just want to have a little bit of distance between them.
I guess y'all haven't been to a repass lately.
Yeah, they might, I mean, some places they might go from one to the other, but it provides a little bit more distance.
I just wonder how that got it.
I mean, I get it. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But I guess another thing is with the residential, you were saying 150 feet. Is that from the property line or from
That's from the
door to door?
building, that's from the building where the alcohol license would be to the nearest residential zone property line. If you had a big enough piece of property, you could be on the interior of that property and still meet the 150 feet distance from the neighbor.
And that's on premise?
That's for on premise. That's where we left the residential distance. For the off premises, we don't have residential distances anymore if you approve this.
Okay. So basically, it's okay if
Buy it and go.
if I open a store, a liquor store.
Right. A liquor store, there's no residential,
Right.
yeah, no residential distance on a liquor store. But
But
for
if I open up a lounge there. you
a
can't do
lounge,
it.
then you do have a distance from the residential use. That's right.
What is that?
I'm just trying to figure out the purpose.
The distance will be 150 feet to the nearest residentially zoned piece of property. It's still not onerous. I mean, it just provides some minimal distance requirement.
Right. I just know, like in the future, whenever you're looking at growth, like I know there's certain builders who build, commercial and residential on top. So that might be something that we might have to look at later on too. in the
Well, that's
future.
for residentially zoned properties. So if you're in a mixed-use development, then
So
you.
long as it's
Yeah.
a mixed use, you're
Right,
good.
right.
Okay.
That's right.
This is for our information tonight, sir.
This is first reading,
First
and
reading.
we can have second reading and act whenever you see fit.
Well, you may as well come on back if
Okay.
your schedule permits.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Blood, you good? All right. Now, since I have just been all over this agenda, Administrative report?
You can get, that's my fault, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, and members of the board, our health department, and EMS buildings are progressing along pretty good. They're looking at, in both cases, both buildings being finished sometime in mid-May. And I would like to encourage the chair of the board to consider doing a review of the buildings before they get to about the 90% level, 99% level, do a tour of the buildings.
I will be glad to do that.
If you and the members of the board, if y'all like that, I've talked with Mr. Brown, and he's open to coordinating that, so.
Okay, yes, let's get that on the
I've
calendar.
heard good things from people who have been inside.
Okay. Also, we advertised for a generator bid. We'll be bringing that to the commission at our next meeting. And also, as Commissioner Frazier mentioned, we will have our SYEP interviews on Saturday, this coming Saturday from 8:45 to 12 p.m. And the last thing I want to mention is we did receive 5 or 6 applications for our opioid settlement grant. Chairman has appointed the date committee, which Commissioner Gilliard, Commissioner Thrift, and asked Commissioner Blunt to serve on that committee.
Am I on any committee anymore?
You can have my spot.
No, I'm fine. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, that committee thing don't work too well for me.
It's all good.
Seriously, you want it, Justin?
I'm good, man.
And
I'm good.
And he's asking that committee to review the applications and bring back a report to our April the 29th work session, so. That's
I only go where I'm invited. That's just been my.
all I have, Mr. Chair.
That's all for good order? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have exhausted our agenda.
All right.
At this time, Chair, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?